Hello! Hi there, it's me, it's Dave, or the Jaded Rabbit. God bless you, my friends. Thank you for finding some time in your day to join me for a very interesting discussion regarding the type effectiveness system of Mortal Kombat 1. You may be familiar with Mortal Kombat 11 and its type effectiveness system, but it makes a stronger return within MK1 where the effects are really noticeable and also somewhat malleable. You can change the type effectivenesses within Mortal Kombat 1, which is very interesting. But there is a strong inspiration from Pokemon, at least, with when discussing any of these types. It's very much akin to what you have in Pokemon, like fire type, ice type, fairy type, dark type, poison type. Yeah, it's very, very similar, and I kind of wish that the developers at NRS had explained this information somewhat better to the casual player. Because when you take a look at this chart, I find this chart to be very confusing. It is very much Pokemon like, so I would have expected a Pokemon type effectiveness chart, something similar where you have attacking type versus defending type and you just have damage multipliers. Because when you actually take a look at the numbers that you have for a particular character as to what is their type effectiveness, it can look all sorts of confusing, right? What are these numbers? What do they mean? So to really simplify the whole activity, I've made a type effectiveness chart for Mortal Kombat 1 in the style of Pokemon, and I think that this is much more easier to understand compared to this, because if you look at this, there's a number of like duplications. So you see here dark, more damage to chaos, right? But then it would also mean in the chaos slot, you get more damage from dark. So this is a redundancy that could be represented with a single node, as they like to call it in invasions. This would be a single like check mark on a type effectiveness chart. Rather, they have a lot of redundancies in this type effectiveness system, and I think it makes it kind of off-putting, at least for me, to try and synthesize the information. So this, I think, is much more cleaner, much more simpler. What you're seeing in front of you, you should probably take a screenshot of the if you want this type effectiveness chart. Although I will be sending it to my bunnies chat on Discord so that all my Discord bunnies can get this wonderful chart to use. Print it out, because I think this is really useful within Mortal Kombat 1. Type effectiveness is certainly a thing, and you would want to consider it in boss situations, in tower situations, when dealing with particularly annoying modifiers. Because if you know the modifiers type, let's say lots of fire type modifiers, well, you could either use a physical type or a fire type, fire or physical, resists fire attacks. So this is very useful, I think, for information on the fly. Also, it gives us a really good picture of what's happening with the various types within the game. So there are some things that are pretty noticeable that you could see easily too from this chart system. But you can see it here too. Electric type has no resistances and one weakness to poison. I like it because it gives you all the information at a glance. You don't have to go here and then what's happening here and then what's happening here. Very confusing. So yeah, I really like this chart. Also, very interesting to note is that physical types, they are not super effective against any particular defending type. which I think makes sense in terms of game balance. Everyone in the game, everyone in the main roster has access to physical type attacks. The normal moves of Pokemon are represented by the physical type here in Mortal Kombat 1. So it makes sense that, normal is not super effective against anything in Pokemon. Same goes here, because if that was true, it would just be broken. It would be damaging everyone, which is kind of why High and Mighty in Mortal Kombat 11, the augment, is very powerful, because it gives you such a great damage boost to your physical type attacks, and everyone can use it, which is really interesting. But here we see that physical type is actually resistant against fire and ice, which is surprising. I didn't expect them to have resistances, but this is a really good resistance in the game, because most characters in the game are either fire or ice type. Rain, Sub-Zero, Liu Kang, Shang Tsung, Scorpion. Yeah, that's a lot of characters. A lot of characters that are gonna be resisted by a nice physical typing. Very cool. Very, very cool. Now, for a lot of the types that are in the game, they all have like 2 times weakness against something. Like blood is weak to chaos and electric, chaos is weak to dark and energy. There's a lot of double weaknesses in the game. The only the only types that have a single weakness are poison, dark, electric, energy, and physical. So these are kind of like probably, if you're not confident in your skills at Mortal Kombat, if you choose a character that is physical or fire or energy, I mean, a lot of people are going to choose Scorpion, right? Let's be honest. The dark, a lot of people are going to choose Melina. So it makes sense that these characters would be a little bit easier to play compared to other characters on the roster, like Shang Tsung. We'll talk a little bit about Shang Tsung, but let's see what you guys are saying. Thank you so much for joining along. What do you think of this type effectiveness system? Direct, Queen Regina, J4, please hit the like on the way in. Yes, please do leave a like, my friends. It really helps out with the channel. Queen, I'm getting the game tomorrow. I didn't know it cost 109. Yeah, it costs a lot. To be honest, I've been wheezing at Sindel's hair and Ashra's face. OMG. Well, at least you're having a response. Very cool. Okay, so other important things to note about this type effectiveness chart. There are no immunities. No character is immune to any type, which is kind of sad. I think that if there were immunities, that would make the game a lot more interesting, because this is pretty watered down in terms of like complexity of like a Pokemon type effectiveness chart. We're talking about it. Let's see if we got type chart. Yes, so here we go. So like when you take a look at a Pokemon type chart, the immunities mixed in there is very interesting. Very, very interesting. Also, unlike Pokemon, Mortal Kombat 1 has only got 10 types. So there's not enough types to experiment with to give characters more than 2 weaknesses or 2 resistances. A lot of characters have the 2 weaknesses. A lot of characters have 2 resistances, but no more than that. But there are some special situations in the game when you start getting into dual types. Like, there are dual types that exist in the game, like Liu Kang, which would be represented by a combination of this column plus this column. It's pretty simple. You could see Liu Kang would have a weakness to poison, resistance to blood, resistance to fire, and a weakness to ice. Oh yeah, I should explain a little bit here. So what do these numbers mean? It's just like a Pokemon type chart, because that's actually how its damage is calculated inside of MK1. So let's say you're using a magic type attack against an energy user. So let's say Katana v Tanya. Tanya will be taking double the damage because of the magic type boost. Do keep in mind, not every single combo string, every single hit is going to be classified as a magic type attack. A lot of the hits in the string are going to be classified as a physical type attack. So do keep that in mind. Do check out your move lists for your characters within MK1 to see what are the different types of attacks that you have accessible to you. Like Shang Tsung, he is a fire. He is a fire type. And he is a poison type. You know what? We got a picture. This is Shang Tsung. All right, so he's resistant to certain types, right? But a lot of his attacks are physically based or fire based. Like not a lot are poison based. Do keep that in mind. So the types with the different characters, it's really more crucial for understanding for their defending type, because when you are facing like a modifier, like I said, or a survive trial, or a really tough boss, you'll want to think about counterpicking with a character that is actually going to be defensively oriented. But yeah, I have like illustrated here some dual types in the game because I think that the dual type system is interesting. ... Not good enough. I think in order for dual types to be more interesting, there would have had to be more complexity to this system. Like immunities would greatly change things. Like imagine for some reason if like I don't know, Fairy was immune to dark. OMG, just like Pokemon. Okay, so yeah, so Fairy defending type. Imagine instead of half a resistance, this was an immunity. That would be so cool. And then it would add more weight to dual types, but whatever. So I have some interesting dual type examples from Mortal Kombat 1. We've got Shang Tsung. So he is poison and fire type, and as a defending type, he is resistant to 3 types. Resistant, right? If you come here to the monotypes, the most a particular character has, if they're monotype, are like 2 resistances. So like see here, like blood, thinking of like Natara or Reiko, they have 2 resistances, some pretty good resistance too against physical type attacks. The only resistance against physical type attacks, of which the majority of attacks in the game are physical. But yeah, really interesting. But yeah, here we've got resistant to poison, blood, fire, so resistant to itself, and 4 times weakness. I wish game communicated that information to us in that way, but when you're dealing with percentages, if you have minus 300 of, let's say, a weakness, so 100 minus 300% more, which is 300, that's minus 400 damage. So that's actually 4 times weakness. Yeah, I really wish they were using damage multipliers rather than these percentages, because I think these are a little bit... They don't make the system easy to understand. I'll say that. This chart doesn't look good. I don't like the chart. That's why I made my own. This UI sucks, and voila. Something more simplified. You can also see the basicness of it. At a glance. Like, in terms of complexity, there's not enough. I wish there were more resistances, more weaknesses, more immunities. They should have put immunities. Immunities would be so cool. Imagine if fire was immune to fire. instead of just resistant, then you would certainly have to think about how to deal with that Scorpion mini-boss on the final stage, right? Test Your Luck was really interesting to me in MK11 because certain characters would be immune to a certain type. So they've increased the damage output that you can get from type system in MK1, but they decreased complexity. And I think fun. I like me fun, but I do like the dual types. I think that's a very interesting idea. So I think another really interesting one is Havoc. He's a blend of chaos and blood, giving him resistances to fairy and physical. Also, he's weak to these. So why do I think this is interesting? Unlike Shang Tsung, which is the only character in the game to feature a 4x weakness, Havoc has a special place as the only person weak to the most attackers in the game. Yeah, we've got weak to chaos, so that would be Shao Kahn, that would be Havoc, the dark would be Melina, Ken Shi, Ashra, Smoke, electric would be Raiden, Liu Kang, so that's a lot. The only other character that can sort of compare would be Ashra, who has weaknesses to oh boy, ice, and weaknesses. Oh no, she's not even as bad. She's got 2 weaknesses. Oh no, so Havoc is distinct. He's the one with the most weaknesses in the game. He's got 3 weaknesses. Okay, so Smoke. He is the one in the game that has the most resistances. That's really interesting, because if you want to get through invasions without having to really think, you're going to be resistant to most of the attackers in the game. A good number, in fact. Ice, fire, electric, chaos. So, Shao, Havoc, Raiden, Rain, Liu Kang. Liu Kang doesn't have any electric type attacks, although he is classified as a dual electric type user. Yeah, it would have been cool if they did something like that with Fire God Liu Kang. Give him some electric attacks. But yes, and fire, there's a bunch of fire type users, Shang, Scorpion. There's a lot. Wow. I mean, like, Smoke is definitely something to think about using within the type system of Mortal Kombat 1. Because, yeah, the unique typing here of physical and dark, really powerful. Doesn't grant him a lot of, like, super effective hits, though. He's still only super effective against chaos. And that's it. Because normal type carries no special super effective hits, so it's only coming from the dark. Very, very intriguing. The dual type characters, though, they can really play on the strength that they have 2 attacking types. I think probably the character that does this best is Rain, because he gets the weakness against poison, weakness against fire, weakness against ice, and weakness against blood, because he has access to electric type specials and ice type specials. Also, because of his dual typing, it means that he's weak to fire. Like, it doesn't make sense. His name is Rain. Why is he weak to fire? It makes no sense. But yeah, this is really quite a strange system. I wish it was more complex, but I think you can see, like, based off of this, there's a lot of this chart where it's just dead space. Would have liked to have seen more resistances, especially for electric. I think it's kind of perplexing that electric has no resistances. I can see that for maybe normal type, but they gave normal type the resistances here. It would have made more sense here, Yeah, maybe. But there are physically defending type characters like Geras, Baraka. Interesting. Very, very interesting. But I think like the system gets a lot more complex once you get into ambushes. When you get ambushes, you're able to change your stats. So you're not fixed to this type effectiveness system. You can actually boost your resistances and weaknesses accordingly by using ambushes. Ambushes are the only way to drop legendary classified rarity boosters of different elemental types. So the different elemental boosters, they'll actually allow you to increase your resistances and remove some of your weaknesses. If you want going after a particular booster, this is totally possible so that you can completely remove your weakness, which is quite interesting. Definitely not something that you have in Pokemon. Unfortunately, the process of running into ambushes, it's very grindy. So I have grinded a lot. So that's why I can achieve this for my Tanya. My Tanya is capable of doing some things, but if I was grinding more, then maybe this magic weakness would be completely removed. But as you can see, we're taking not 2 times damage, we're taking 1.5. So about 1.5 more. So this is good. I'm liking some things about MK1, but there are some things like this, like I wish there were immunities. Immunities would really spice it up. But once you get a handle of the type effectiveness system, you can do like really easy things in the game, like this, perhaps. So we have a video here. Let's see if it's working. Oh. So this is a survive fireball trial. Like those trials, like you don't even have to do anything if you properly understand the type effectiveness system.
Survive.
I'm just teabagging. Don't mind me. Yeah, so like I mean like you can just really like beat the system once you understand the type effectiveness system. So to take fireballs in the face, you would want to make sure that you're either a blood type or a fire type. Oh no, not a blood type. Oops. You want to make sure you're a fire type or a physical type. There we go. Was looking at it wrong. Gotta remember, this is attacking, this is defending. Yeah. But yeah, like, I hope that this, like, information helps. Definitely try out the type effectiveness system. If you've played with only one character throughout invasions, then I don't think you're having all the fun. Like, wouldn't you rather just teabag the fireballs? It makes certain fights very easy in invasions if you're able to understand the resistances. Because modifiers mean nothing. These balls in the face mean nothing. Teehee, I love it. Okay. Whoa. Crazy, crazy times. Let's see if you guys have any questions. Thank you for joining. Queen Regina, I'm getting the game tomorrow. I didn't know it cost $109. Oh no. Oh no, we got that. You're wheezing at Sindel and Ashra's face. LOL. Hey babes, what game is this? It's Pokemon. Duh. LOL. Sean, I got a new skin for Lee May. Very cool. Very cool. Richard, can you test the 4 times weakness? It feels a bit too much. No, I think it's pretty accurate. It seems like, at least when I was using Shang. Shikino, Ashra is weak to Katana. That's all I can remember. Yeah, dark types are weak to magic types in this game. I think of the magic type as like fairy because it's kind of equivalent. The dark type is taking way more damage from fairy type. Crazy. J4, these resistances are reset to default at the beginning of next invasion season, presumably? I don't know. I mean, like, why would they say a permanent boost and then remove it? But if they do remove it, like, it's something to grind for in invasions if you want the boosters. Or if you have the boosters, use them on the character you like the most. I think that's probably the most useful way of using those boosters. Jonah, he's teabagging. Yes. Dave, who are your top 5 in this game? I haven't decided my number 4 or 5 yet. Well, I've been using Smoke because he's got the most resistances in the game. Smoke is very resistant. Also, I guess I'm using Tanya because she got all the boosters. So I can say we have 2 characters. Boom. Boom. All right. So yeah, would love to hear from you guys what you guys are thinking of Mortal Kombat 1's type effectiveness system. Are you using it when you are like having matches or not? Maybe not. Maybe no one cares, but it's powerful. It is useful. The resistances are really noticeable. The weaknesses are noticeable. Do use them. Definitely use them to your advantage. J4. Oh, okay. I assume they were like the stat points. Yeah, perhaps. But if you collect these boosters in a season, use them on the character that you use the most. But yeah, love you guys so much. Please don't forget to leave a like, a comment, a subscribe. It really helps out with the channel. 14 people here. Let's get 14 likes. OMG. Also, much love to all of my brothers and sisters in the Jaded Bunny family. They help keep me alive on this planet. If you enjoy our fancy videos, please leave a like. It really helps. Much love to my brothers and sisters here in the live stream chat. J4. Love you, J4. Hey, Jonah. Love you too. Thanks for being here. But yeah, join the fam. There I'm making secret videos about MK1, MK11, family only PvP events, birthday gift, lots of stuff. If you want lots of stuff, join the fam. Yes. But yeah, thank you once again for spending some time with me here today. God bless all of you. I'm praying that you're having a wonderful time with Mortal Kombat 1. But until next time, please stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy. Bye, my friends. Take care. Peace. Love you guys.